Welcome to Magic.ai, the operating system for hospitality. At Magic, we know an operating system is more than just software and systems. It's about people, because hospitality is nothing without them. So supporting the hospitality community is our number one goal.
I think there needs to be more of a support system. Like, you have to love this business and you have to love every aspect of it, including sharing tribal knowledge on what is successful and also tribal knowledge of what is a failure.
Founded by lifelong experts, we're building the place where everyone in hospitality, from seasoned pros to first-timers, can gather, share, and grow together. Plus, we're crafting scalable tools and AI-supported software to boost your business. Dive into our vibrant community platform packed with meaningful conversations and robust tools and templates designed just for you. Need more? Our custom software solutions have got you covered. From recruiting and staffing to digital playbooks and dashboards, we're working on building a unique hub of resources unlike any other. Magic is your single point of origin for important conversations, accessible tools, valuable insights, and more. Join us at Magic.ai. The evolution of hospitality is here.
I've learned how to become a better entrepreneur from running restaurants because everything I've learned about business, I've learned it the same way I've learned about cooking.
Something that you brought up, and to some degree, it's something that you represent. And I'm wondering if we're seeing it more now in the industry because of all of these really fierce challenges that hospitality is facing and the operators in hospitality are facing. And that is that chefs are beginning to diversify a lot more, right? Mm-hmm. We're seeing that as a thread to success right now, whether it's like endorsements or it's, pan deals, or it's, grocery items in the center aisle, like whatever those things are. One of you mentioned this concept of the entrepreneurial spirit and exploring opportunities outside of the kitchen. Talk to me a little bit about that specifically as it relates to you and what you're doing, but also what you're seeing in the industry.
Yeah, I think for me, it was about getting to learn how to do other things. Like right now, I just came out with tequila. And when that project came to the table, it was like, well, I want to go down there. I want to meet the family that we're going to work with. I want to make the tequila with them. I want to cook with them. I want to socialize. I want this to be an experience that I'll never forget. And I find that a lot of times when there's an opportunity for me to go around and sort of collect those experiences and then obviously then turn around and use them as an opportunity to improve or build on my portfolio of stuff that I have going on, then it all makes a lot of sense. I mean, we can sit back. I mean, we're all experiencing the loss of margins and the inability to sort of make a profit in our restaurants, but it doesn't mean we can let our restaurants just go away. Because imagine if everyone is only an influencer and everyone is only getting those deals and everyone is doing all of that, and no one is focusing on the restaurants, then the restaurants all go away and the jobs go away and the dialogue goes away, the conversation goes away.
That's right.
And I think that for me, it's
By the
being
way,
able
hospitality employs 15 million people, which blows my mind. 3% of the global workforce.
And that means it's our responsibility to keep these businesses going however we can. And so for me, it's about supplementing. It's like, yes, I can complain about how much we're not making in the restaurants, or I can go find ancillary revenue that can help also drive traffic to the restaurants. So these projects aren't just about grabbing cash and this and that. It's about, one, I've learned how to become a better entrepreneur from running restaurants because I didn't go to college. I barely graduated high school, and everything I've learned about business, I've learned it the same way I've learned about cooking, and it's been in the kitchens. And then to be able to sort of realize wait, I can make this food product and go, it's almost the farmer's market mentality. A lot of people, you look at I remember when Alvin, who, has Egg Slut and the burgers and all that stuff, he sort of started at the farmer's market outside of Inc. restaurant off of Melrose, selling his breakfast sandwiches and stuff out there. And I remember him pulling up and like being excited to like, hey guys, I'm going to be out here selling egg sandwiches. And but look at what that turned into. And I
Right.
think that's why we sort of go out and do these other things. You look at, we just have to. We have to because it's part of keeping our industry alive. I think it's part of survival. It's not just, I'm going to go out and make as much money as I can, because the reality is that's not happening either. It's like it's the mentality that we've always had of, I have many full-time jobs. Like, this is what I do from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. From 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I do this. From 6 p.m. to midnight I do this. It just adds to the list of stuff that we're willing to take on because we work hard. And I think that
Yep.
the only way we're going to feel the rewards is if we take on more, because it's little pieces of a lot of things. And you go back to that idea of like, I'd rather have 10% of a watermelon than 100% of a grape.
I mean, I think also to add on to it too. I mean, Michael and I, we had a small window of time where we had a product run based on some steakhouse ingredients that we had with Williams Sonoma, right? And during that time and period, at least, my perspective was, it's amazing to be able to be in somebody's kitchen, in somebody's pantry with an ingredient, so they got an opportunity to, at least they might have seen you on television, and it gives them an opportunity to try something from you, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's an extension of hospitality, I think that's there, at least from my perspective. If I'm able to be, to help, embellish somebody's, meal in one evening without even being in their kitchen somehow, then I feel like we've been able to help make their day like a little bit better, right? And so having those products, out there, I feel like gives you that opportunity to touch people's palate, that, you might never experience your restaurant. Right. And I think that
100%.
now with, obviously online platforms and, where you can get things shipped all over the country and world and essentially overnight, it opens a door for that. Right. To be able to do that, I mean, we're partners with Live Nation, and we're in 47 of their amphitheaters. When people are going to shoot shows, they get to experience something that, Michael and
Hell
I put
yeah.
together.
Bolt Burger,
Right.
baby.
So, right. And so it's amazing to be able to be a part of that concert experience for them, and they get to experience something that we've helped create. Right. And
And it's
so,
not just shitty
and it,
stadium food.
and it's thousands of people, right? And
Yeah.
so it's an extension of like essentially hospitality, right? Helping to make their experience at the concert better,
Totally. I mean,
right?
that like my first consulting client while I still had my last restaurant, Townsman, was actually Dunkin' Donuts, because I made a connection with the CMO who would come in and sit at the Crudo bar and I'd cook for him. And we just totally hit it off. He loved hospitality, right? And when I got into that and I started consulting for them, building what we called at the time their menu of the future, it was like people were like, Dunkin' Donuts, like that's not on brand for you. And I'm like, yeah, but you have this ability to touch
Yeah,
millions of people with what you
for sure.
do, and to build in some healthier menu items like into a brand like that was like the opportunity of a lifetime, right? And it's the same type
Right.
of thing. It's like you get that chance to connect on a different level that's deeper, that actually then adds more value to your brand overall, right?
For sure.
But there's
Um,
also this innate desire to learn. And I think that as we get these other opportunities outside of our kitchens, I mean, I remember a quote, I don't know who said it to me a long time ago or where I read it, but it said, I didn't start learning until I got outside of my kitchen. And I think that there was a time period where if you were a line cook at one place for 2 years, and at that time that was appropriate for me to just do that, they're just there in that bubble for 2 years. One, you couldn't really afford to go out and see and experience anything else. And two, you just didn't have the time to do it. And I think I, every time I'm so grateful for like every opportunity that I get to either connect with a demographic or a group of people that I wouldn't get to connect with, or to be exposed to something creative that I didn't know anything about. Like I've gotten to work with car companies. I've gotten to work with people in the music industry, obviously learning how to be better in entertainment, working with clothing brands and stuff like that. Like every time I get an experience like that, I get to learn about another industry. But also what's interesting about us is we've been trained to try and figure out how to make a profit in a business where it's really, really difficult to make a profit in. And I feel like if you're successful in that, then your opinion is actually valuable in other industries too. It's like, wait a second, you know,
Amen.
you made money in a business that you're not supposed to make money in. Like, how did you do that? And like, how can you apply that same creative process to what like we're doing over here too? And I just think it's kind of a tribute to like all the hard work and shit that we've all been through. It's like at the end of the day, the reason why we made a profit was one thing. It was hard work. Like,
Yep.
we didn't just sit back and complain about things. Like, we, we went in and fixed it. And like, like, as much as I love a dish, if I got like a ton of bad feedback on that dish, it's my responsibility to listen to my guests and either fix that dish or take it off the menu. Not the mentality of like, well, that person doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, fuck them. Like, I'm more of the mindset of like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Fuck me and fix it. Like, and I think that that's goes again, hospitality is the underlying thing behind what I feel like I'm saying throughout this entire process today is like, let's just get back to giving a shit. Like, let's get back to wanting to help each other. Let's get back to wanting to help our guests. Let's get back to worrying about each other, texting each other, calling each other. Like, we're in the hospitality industry. It's the name of our industry. If we get back to that part, I feel like all these other things, they're not going to fix themselves, but we can fix them together. And I think that that's what's missing right now.
Totally. I think you're absolutely right. I feel like it's become very transactional, and the transaction is important, and we can't forget that, right? And we keep building ways to become more efficient in making those transactions and getting the returns that we need for those transactions to operate. But at the same time, there has to be this kind of culture of hospitality, right? That goes behind it.